all the disrespect before you play back. Button check. Button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to a beautiful weekend of Sunday, better late than never, of buttons that need to be checked. Chapters down below, sub button right there. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to help the channel grow. Also, we got the hitbox giveaway going on. If you comment, not on Saturday's video, but I believe it's on Friday's video. We obviously talk about the hitbox in the beginning of the video. The links are down below. All you have to do is comment on that video, simply saying whatever you want, but also hashtag hitbox. You're automatically entered the contest, and then I'll announce 2 winners for the free hitboxes on tomorrow. So Monday, at some point, whenever I post, the 2 winners will be announced. Congratulations, but good luck to everybody that enters the contest, if I could talk. Now we are here, we have a hot one. It seems like we got big content creators in the FGC, especially Street Fighter 6 community, that are speaking out. We got several right here. We got Brian F, we got Sajams, just to name a few. We got some clips, and the thing that caught my eye is they're posting these videos within days of each other. So I'm like, what is really popping right now with the state of Street Fighter 6? So let's unpack. Let's go.
The state of fighting games does not fill me with joy. He's like,
I definitely don't feel good about the genre. I think the whole genre is on a complete downturn, and Street Fighter 6 is starting to just capitalize on a Japanese audience, and it's not bringing the whole genre up with it. What's the last successful fighting game that we've had?
I thought that was a really interesting perspective. I think he's been fighting Mai for 8 months. I also think that his assessment of fighting game releases being successful or not is probably true, actually, though. If you think what people have expectations for like what Tekken 8 could have been versus what it is, and what City of the Wolves could have been versus what it is, and maybe what 2XKO could have been versus what it is, I sort of see his point. I think the level of interest in City of the Wolves is about exactly what I would have expected. Be honest with you. I didn't think the game was going to be huge because it's not a massive IP. We knew that there was going to be a lot of money in it. The game has people who are interested in it and still traveling for tournaments and playing in it. For Tekken, it's the same thing. Like, even though there's people frustrated with patches and stuff, what it reached, particularly in the beginning when we started doing slam stuff around it, I don't know, I think a lot of people were pretty interested in it. As far as like mainstream sales and stuff, I doubt that that game did as well as they were hoping for. But my realistic expectation for what all the games are, I think that they probably are about where I expected. Some slight.
All right, let's stop right there. That is interesting, though, when you think about it, when he mentions, he's like, what is it? He's like Fatal Fury. It's about what he expected since it's not a big IP. There's a lot of money behind it. But I guess when you think about it, it doesn't really matter how much money is behind it when we're talking about all these millions that they're throwing at it, because the only ones that really pay attention of it or to that is the FGC. Because to us, it becomes a reality. We start seeing that money. To us, our senses start going off, and we're like, oh, that's a part of our economic system right now. It's gonna possibly help tournaments. These players get more players, get sponsored, all this stuff. But then even that starts trickling down because only the 1% or the top 1%, however that stuff goes, actually even touches that money or sees anything. And the split is so horrible that even the 1%, whatever the hell that math is, even get any of the money. So ultimately, who gives a shit, right? With the money. It's sad because you have all that money throwing at this game and it does nothing for the sales. It does nothing for anybody. People just look at it like, wow, what the hell's going on over there? Oh, what is it connected to? And then that's where it stops. If you don't like fighting games, it does nothing for you, especially even if you like fighting games, if you just don't rock with Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, still does nothing for you. So it's just sad in a way where it's like, it does have hype moments and, you know, people say it's good. I mean, we had more people surprisingly, but at the end of the day, the money, the marketing just seems to mean jack shit. Anyway.
Slightly better, some slightly worse. I think if you're like, I expect the game to boom and grow in a way that's like similar to maybe how Japan is with Street Fighter or something, it's definitely not that case. In fact, I think for US, like Western or non-Japanese fighting game players who play Street Fighter, the way the game is growing in Japan is maybe concerning to them, actually. Western people, when it comes to Street Fighter, are like mad at a lot of things. Throw loops and like the lack of balance, the lack of costumes, the lack of, you know, all this stuff. And then you look at sales and interest in the game in Street Fighter 6, and it's like soaring in Japan. What they're learning is the game is massively successful in Japan and they can cater to that audience, and all the complaints from people in the West are like inconsequential because their player base and voice is less important if all of Japan is buying the game and interested in it.
It's hard for me to understand their strategy of doing next to nothing to promote and integrate the game with the community efforts and the tournament scene have worked tremendously in Japan. Like, honestly, seeing that this game is selling so successfully makes me more upset than happy. Capcom's just like, oh, look, everything's great. And I'm just like, fuck, Japan, stop buying the game for a little bit. I want a balance patch. I want them to do something. I don't think there's been anything I've been really that positive about for quite some time. And, you know, I've accepted that they're never going to patch this game.
If you're like, we're yapping, they're not changing any of the things we're yapping about, and the game is having insane success, they're like, I lost, basically, right? It's probably the way they're feeling.
All right, stop right there. Which is crazy, right? Brian F over here talking about stop playing the damn game so it can be, you know, he's being obviously sarcastic, but still kind of serious. Like, I just want a patch. I want the game to feel different. You know, Sajam kind of co-signing that, saying like they basically won, then we basically lost. It's almost like Japan's taking the attitude of like, fuck Twitter. This whole attitude that we've been wanting everybody to have for the longest time, like, fuck the crybabies, right? But now the crybabies is like, I guess us in the Street Fighter community, you know, we're like, we need this, this, and that. And even some Japan players is speaking out, but it's not to the point of the West. It's not to the point that you hear on Twitter, especially on our side. And at the end of the day, they see them sales booming. They like, y'all can just do what you do. We making money. But it's crazy because it's like, if you have that attitude and like you obviously see it's successful and it's booming, wouldn't you want to get more money? Put more manpower behind some dope ass costumes and promotions and like better communication. Like, you could make more money through this damn game. I don't understand the disconnect. It's almost like their rational, like their logic is, oh, pay-per-view. That's how we make the money. When there's so many more better ways to make the money. Hell, they could even put that on top of the pay-per-view and get more people interested somehow. Not to say at the end of the day, people are gonna still, you know, all of a sudden side for the pay-per-view. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they could be making money hand over fist if they really wanted to. I'm just confused about that.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that our event, like Capcom, the way they split money is just so awful. Like, I don't get why EWC's prize split was so much better for Street Fighter than Capcom Cup when they had less total money. The SNK split as well. I mean, I think the SNK and Capcom Cup splits, what was it for SNK? It was like 1.5 million or 1.25 million versus like 250,000 or 300,000 per second. The fact that Capcom Cup split was 1 million versus 100,000 for first and second or whatever it was so bad and everybody was so mad at them. And then SNK made it worse. Whoever's decision in both cases, who decided to do that, it's baffling to me that this made it past any sort of roundtable discussion that would be the prize pool. Like, it's completely ridiculous. I'm like, what marketing are we gaining here, if we're honest, right? The only headline that you can create out of it truly is like the person who won got so much more than second that it's really bad and sad. And like, if we want to talk about marketing and how smart it is, why are we spending 1.25 million or whatever on the winner and 300,000 for second, and then we're not even running our own event? We're just like on the side at DreamHack Atlanta. Like, so many people didn't even know the SNK World Finals was happening. I mean, part of it is like probably the ownership breakdown, right?
All right, let's stop right there. Yes, I agree with that last thing he said was most people didn't know the SNK World Final was happening. I had to do so much damn research to see when is it, where is it. Then I saw, what did they say, DreamHack Atlanta or something like that. I don't know. I have so many stories I cover, y'all. Sometimes I get brain farts. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I was like, there's so much money. What was it, 1.4, 1.2 for first place alone? Like, we hadn't seen this money, let alone in in Fatal Fury. Like, they're giving Capcom a run for their money. But where's the promotion? If we want the headline, the big fat ass check, most played, yeah, of course there were some articles written on it, but damn, this thing should have been like marketed through the ass. Like, it almost just gives you that feeling like they kind of don't, cause like the people with the money, the ones writing the checks, it's not a lot of money to them. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of money to us, and they're like, hey, we know it's a lot of money to you guys, and we're trying to break new grounds when it comes to y'all. But at the end of the day, it don't really hurt us. We'll do the minimum, which is fucking crazy. When you got this much money and you do this much marketing and promotion.
And we're talking about some content flow problems, and perhaps even a greater issue of that, of Capcom being well aware and not really choosing to do anything about it. So, big one out of the gate. I posted this on like all my social medias and all that when it happened, but you know, not everyone sees everything I do on social media, so I guess we gotta issue some errata for a press release. And honestly, this is part of the reason I'm making the video, because this makes this feel even more of a sting than it did before. So you may have seen this video from a while back on the channel where we talked about Street Fighter doing very well, and this is part of the problem. Street Fighter's doing very well, no content, right? But anyways, we talked about Alex got moved up. He originally was listed for early spring, and then he got moved ahead of schedule to sometime winter 2026, so early next year. And then there was much rejoicing because early spring, that's like late March at the fastest, right? That's a 5-month wait between C Viper and Alex. If it's winter, hey, Alex could be live before Capcom Cup even starts. That'd be excellent. So great news. And then a couple days later, I got an email from the Capcom presser folks saying, whoops, we made a mistake. Our bad on telling you Alex Winter 2026. Actually, it's the original date again, which is early spring 2026. Yeah. And just as a reminder, spring does not start till more towards the tail end of March. Capcom Cup is towards more the beginning of March. So no Alex by Capcom Cup. And again, that means 5-month wait. Street Fighter 6 has been doing real good, y'all. And if it's doing real good, what's the incentive to do more than you're already doing? What's the incentive to rock the boat if this game is already so much more wildly successful than the previous one? And especially that Street Fighter 6 has taken off in Japan in a way that's almost like the early to mid 90s all over again. So what's the incentive to do more than you're doing? None, really.
Stop it right there. What's the incentive? None. That's what I'm saying. I get that, and I even get that argument, from a business standpoint. But the other thing, like I said, once again, if you really believe that, like if it's broke, don't fix it. Okay, but at the same time, if we're talking about the business mind, if you see, hey, I have a product that's thriving, logically you're going to think, how could I make this even more successful? How could I make it even more longevity? Okay, I need to do a continuation, a super version of this or something like that. Or costumes. I can make costumes. They could be in-game purchases. What are we doing? Now, obviously, they got stuff in the works, and hell, hey, like people were talking about the other day, apparently Capcom at one point said when we sell 6 million copies, we're gonna drop big changes, right? Maybe they drop it tomorrow and make all of us look stupid. Maybe they do, and I hope they do. I would love to be on the end of this camera looking stupid as hell, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the way it looks and the way everybody's reacting for now. Then I saw this video, very interesting take, pretty much the same line by a content creator by the name of Tran. This is my first time learning about him. His link down below, show him the love. Look at this.
If even the third season of a game isn't willing to address concerns after 2 years in its lifespan, why hold on to the hope of something better at this point?
Capcom has no idea what they want Street Fighter 6
Something
to
more
be.
concerning for me, and a major question I've been asking myself for the past while right now. What the hell kind of game does Capcom want Street Fighter 6 to be? I'm left confused on all angles as to what vision Capcom has for Street Fighter 6. Does it want to slowly revert back to a more stable Street Fighter game with the release of Sagat and Elena and how their throws only work with the drive rush now? At first, that was my original thought, and maybe that's why they applied that change to Ed and Ken as well. Yet, C Viper has a completely functional throw loop like the rest of the cast, so it makes me think Capcom also likes the game they made originally at launch with volatile and momentum heavy offense. I think to myself, maybe Capcom wants to normalize and balance the cast by nerfing the wreck that was Season 1 Ken and Luke. But then they add Mai, whose function is quite similar and more powerful than the previous two mentioned characters ever were. She's even gone as far as to destroy top players' perceptions of sportsmanship with how broken she is.
Doing whole combos on block. Whole combos on block. This nigga just did 4 combos on block.
My head is honestly spinning with Capcom's recent changes and their hopes for this game. The only thing I can be certain of is that Capcom does think Street Fighter 6 is a financial success, and is going as far as to double down on their greed and business practices by trying to monetize both Street Fighter League Japan and Capcom Cup, and continue to release avatar gear that almost no one is requesting, while also avoiding requests for character costumes. It's now gotten to the point where they decide to make their traditional yearly Capcom Cup be pay-per-view, where it was free to stream for many years. If only I got $1 for every time I heard the phrase, I ain't paid $40 to watch throw loops and 15-minute ad breaks.
All right, so there you have it. Shout out to Tran, man. Check him out. His link down below. It's crazy because even I've heard, players and content creators talk about we could save Capcom money. with the whole $1 million paycheck for, you know, for Capcom. It doesn't even have to be that. Yeah, you want the headline with the one big check. And even me and Dirty Low agreed when it first started that that's a pretty cool ass headline. Yes, the split sucks, but that's pretty freaking cool. Like, let's be real. But now, like I said, the only ones that's really affecting is the the top one of the one, you know. Ridiculous ass number that even touched the money like that, because only one person in this whole damn world is gonna touch that money, and then second place, you get a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's an expensive sandwich. Probably you get it toasted and you can put some extra meat on there, extra lettuce. What I'm trying to say is it's a big difference between first and second place. It's so horrible. But if they wanted to save money, if part of this is the whole reason to save money, they have a lack of manpower or whatever, it's like, don't do the $1 million check. You could do 800,000, 700,000, just make the split better, and the players would appreciate it more at the end of the day. If it's still a good game, it's still a good game. It's still gonna thrive. I guarantee the huge fan base that's backing it, the content creators, Japan has this really cool way of marketing it over there to like more of the casual fan base, and people are enjoying it. They're still gonna enjoy it. None of them are caring about the damn money in the first place. And I know the West loves to complain. I know Twitter loves to complain, and we could be seen as crybabies a lot of time. I get that, because at the end of the day, it's a great game. It's a great product. All of us want it to succeed for the most part, right? We want the game to thrive. I think it's just now people are like, bruh, it's time for a change. We've been playing the same game for what? June? I had to look it up. I forgot what month, but June of 2023. And the problem is we're saying now it's just too stale. We need some patch. You don't even need to shake it up like crazy, but we need something different. But I don't know. Even with the biggest content creators we have in the West, is anybody in Japan? Is anybody over there speaking out? I wonder how their content creators feel, because we've heard some big names over there kind of speak out. Nothing like we do over here. But I wonder, does anybody that really matters over there, are they making videos like us? Or are they just simply making content, and at the end of the day, we're just looked at like some damn crybabies? I don't know. How y'all feeling? Let me know. And there it is one more time, Butt Check family. Thank you guys for tuning in. I thought this was interesting as hell, man. People are starting to speak out. Well, they've been speaking out, but you know what I'm trying to say. Either way, I appreciate the mad love. Thank you for tuning in. We will drop a video tomorrow. More than likely, it'll be tomorrow night, and we will announce the 2 winners of the Hitbox giveaway tomorrow night. So thank you guys for the amazing love. I will see you soon, and I know somehow, some way, despite all of this, it's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe!
Very detailed. Big Bird just straight out says, the current state of the game is ass. And I guess quite a lot of people agree with him. I mean, he doesn't give any details, so I can't go into exactly why he thinks the current state of the game is ass.